A lot of times writers think they need constant action in their books to keep readers from getting bored. Constant action, constant tension, constant movement. This is going to sound a little counterintuitive, but your readers don't just need action. They also need spaces to breathe. I'm Holly Schindler, an award-winning author as well as freelance editor, writing coach, and writing instructor. And in this video, I'm going to break down the momentum, meaning, scene structure. I'm going to show you what counts as momentum in a book. And no, it's not always that breakneck paced action. I'm going to show you how non-action scenes can actually help drive your book forward. And I'm going to show you why action-only scenes can actually make your book feel, well, boring. All right, so let's start with those momentum scenes. Now, these are the scenes, obviously, that are going to drive the plot of your book forward. Now, a lot of times, authors will fall into the trap of assuming a momentum scene has to be action-packed. It has to be fast-paced and high stakes. A bank robbery, a car chase, someone being held at gunpoint. And that's true. Those all count. But here's the thing, not all books have car chases in them. So does that mean your book is never going to have a momentum scene in it? Not at all. Because here's the other thing a momentum scene can be. It can be a scene in which your reader is just fully inside your main character's body. Think sensory details. What do they hear? What's pressing against them? Is it freezing? Sweltering? Take this for an example. We mentioned a bank robbery scene earlier. Okay, let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Let's say we do have a scene in the bank, but all that is happening is our main character is standing in line waiting to make a withdrawal. The bank is not being held up. There are no guns in sight. This should be an absolutely boring scene. Let's say that this main character of ours is actually escaping a terrible marriage. She has a very brief window of time to make this large withdrawal to get her cash so that she can get out of town and escape this marriage. If she does not get out of town quickly, he is going to be tipped off to what her plan is, and he's going to come find her and get her. Okay, so let's say we also have an incredibly long line at this bank, and there is one teller, and a person at the front of the line is actually having a problem. It's taking them forever. She can feel the fact that the air conditioning in the bank is not working properly. She is sweating. The waistband on her jeans is digging into her. Her shoes are too tight. She can feel people breathing around her. She can hear their breath. She can hear a baby wailing, which is the sound she wants to make. She can hear the tick of the clock, the whiz of the cars, speeding by outside. All of it is just beginning to press on her. That's the way you take what might be a very boring scene and begin to turn it into a momentum scene. But don't think this has to be either or. Imagine if you layered on those kind of physical sensory details onto a scene which is already pretty action heavy. Let's imagine your main character is being chased. They are in a car. This is a car chase scene. How does the engine sound to them? How does the car feel beneath them? How does the steering wheel feel in their hand? Is the window down? Are they being pummeled by air? Can they hear the screech of a siren? That's physical storytelling. And when it works, your readers don't just understand what's happening to your main character, they feel it. Yes, you are going to have scenes in this book of yours that move this plot of yours forward. They're going to get that protagonist of yours closer to or farther from their main goal. But adding that physical storytelling to your scene is gonna make it feel real. And realness will give your scene a sense of momentum, whether there's a gun or a car chase involved. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have our meaning scenes. These are the scenes in which your main character is going to reflect on either what has just happened or is in the process of happening to them. Now, the main thing I want you to remember about meaning scenes is they do not have to go on for multiple pages, and they certainly don't have to be a chapter in and of themselves. Your meaning scenes do not have to be any longer than a few lines or a paragraph. In fact, a meaning scene can take place inside an action-driven chapter. So how do you craft a meaning scene? By getting inside your character's heart and mind. So what are the types of meaning you can include? Decision making. When your main character has a choice to make, even which way to go while they're being chased, the reader needs to see them weighing the options, and then they can understand why they act in the way that they do. Relationship shifts. Throughout the course of this book, your main character is going to gain alliances, find out who their enemies truly are. Friendships are going to fracture, romantic feelings are going to bubble up to the top. And you need to describe all these emotions, because the thing is, your reader is going to feel what your main character feels. Realizations. Now, these are incredibly important. Realizations can be, something like your detective in your mystery novel understanding their case in a new way every time they come across a new clue. But these realizations can also chip away at your main character's internal lie throughout the course of the book. And those realizations are going to make your main character's abandonment of the lie at the end of the book feel absolutely believable. Dust settling. Now, it is incredibly important to show your main character reflecting on what's happened to them after big dramatic moments. Big moments are gonna probably lead to big decisions having to be made by your main character. And this just shows the reader where their head is and why they're going to behave the way they do going forward. Now, I hope you noticed here as I was describing the types of meaning you could include, this in no way slows your book down. In fact, it enhances the action because it gives it context. Meaning scenes deepen the action of your book. I usually compare action scenes to driving on the highway. We've all had this experience where, once we're on the highway and we're driving maximum speed, we actually get numb to the speed. It's when we have to get off the highway and then come back on it that we feel the speed again. In the process of getting up to speed, we feel it all over again. The same thing happens with your book. You need to provide your reader some off-ramps so that they can feel getting back up to speed again when you introduce a new action scene. But when you're slowing down, if you provide these meaning scenes, you're not just, spinning your wheels. You are providing new context for what has happened, and you're actually deepening the book as well. The other thing meaning scenes do is help your reader understand your main character, which will take your book to an entirely new level. Once you add those meaning scenes, your reader will no longer be watching the events of the book from the outside. They'll be experiencing them right alongside your main character because they will have access to your main character's inner thoughts and feelings. If you want some additional help writing strong scenes, I've got a free download on my Feels method of scene writing. Got a link to it below. Catch you in the next video. In the meantime, go write something.